Join me now as we continue our read and commentary in the book of Romans. Today's read, Romans chapter 1, verse 15 through 18. This will be a part 2. Welcome to Daily Timothy Time. My name is Karl Coates, and it's a privilege, pleasure, and an absolute joy to be with you once again with an open King James Bible. Today, Sunday, the 8th of February, 2026. I hope, folks, that anybody listening to me here today, I hope that today's time together will be a petrichor. That's a wonderful word. Go check it out. I hope it is for you. I hope it is. I hope it's the very essence of that word for you. I hope it's edifying for you. And you might hear some things today where you'll scratch your head and go, God, man, I don't really know so much. That's okay, as long as you take whatever you hear today back to your own personal Bible study and you check it out for yourself and you be persuaded in your own mind. Paul says over in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, study to shew thyself approved unto God. It's pointless just listening to me and agreeing and nodding your head. Yeah, 3 bags full. Yes sir, yes sir, 3 bags full, sir. I'm not interested in that. You need to take whatever you hear back to your study. Read the verses. And some people might say to you that you're going a bit mad. Festus said to Paul, if you go to Acts chapter 26 verse 24, and I read, as he thus spoke for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside thyself. Much learning doth make thee mad. So some people might think you're a nutcase because you studying these verses out, that you're listening to some preacher here on Daily Timothy Time. But you know what? You've got to go and you've got to prove it, and you have to be convinced in your own mind. Let's get to reading, if you will. Romans chapter 1 verse 15. So as much as in me is, I'm ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Folks, I know this is the second time we're covering this passage. I said to you last time that today we would look at the 4 fours and look at the flow, the thought of what Paul's doing here. And I'm hoping with a little bit of time we have today, that we could dig a little bit deeper, and folks, that you can walk away going, hey, this is a very pivotal passage that we've just read, and it sets up what Paul's doing by looking at the issues of the gospel of the grace of God. So let's get going here. Verse 15 says here, I'm ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. Why, Paul? For, here's the first for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Well, Paul, why are you not ashamed of the gospel of Christ? Next, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. Paul, why is the gospel the power unto salvation? Verse 17, Paul goes into that third for. For therein, that is the gospel, is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. Paul, why is righteousness important? And then you got the fourth for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. You see, folks, what's going on here? The righteousness is revealed in the gospel. For me, for a long time, I struggled to comprehend that. But righteousness is revealed in the gospel. And I want to say that for a third time. Righteousness is revealed in the gospel. And the gospel is the power of God unto salvation. It's a logical progression, saints. It's a logical progression. Now, So with that progression, I want to draw your attention over to verse 16. Let me just turn back there. Verse 16. For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God. That phrase there, the power. If you go back to the Greek, I know some people like to look at the Strong's Concordance. If you look at the Greek, it's dynamos, if I remember correct, where we get our word dynamite from. And the power, the power that's going to get things done, get you saved, get you justified, is the gospel of Christ. That's where the power is. Now, I'm just looking at the time there. I want you to come with me over to 1 Corinthians, if you will. 1 Corinthians chapter 1:17. Let's just give this a read. And if I can find it, I'll read it to you. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 17. For Christ sent me not to baptize. Oh boy, that is a wonderful verse. That verse can get you into trouble in certain denominational settings. But to preach the gospel, not with the wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of none effect. Now listen to verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and I will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. And Paul, and it goes on there. So the power of God is in the gospel. So when a heathen gets called by Paul's my gospel, the power to take them from death to life is in the gospel. Dunamos. I think that's how you pronounce it in Greek. I'm not Greek, so I have Greek lineage in me, but I can't kaluma Greek. I'm not, I'm bold like a Greek. I'm dark like a Greek, but I can't speak Greek, let alone Koine Greek. So I'm just going by what I read and when I study up. So the power of God is in the gospel. Well, let me go back to Romans chapter 1 here. For it is the power of God unto salvation. Oh, gosh. Man, there's so... This passage is just so action-packed. I think for time's sake and just for the simplicity in Christ, let me leave it there for today. So, folks, in closing, the next time you read through Romans chapter 1 and you get down to verse 16, 17, and 18, just remember those fours. There is a progression of thought here. The four fours, remember that. For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Why, Paul? For it is the power of God unto salvation. So when you and I are ambassadors for Christ, whether you like it or not. You might still be a babe in Christ, or you might be further along to being a perfected saint. Our jobs as ambassadors, number one, over in Timothy, Paul says, it's God will that all men be saved and come unto the knowledge of the truth. How are men going to get saved? They're going to be called by Paul's my gospel. So when you and I are chatting to a heathen that's on his way to hell, and we share that gospel, the gospel of Christ, there's power in that gospel for him to get translated into the kingdom of his dear son, as it says over in Colossians. Remember that. Next time you look at someone there and you're not sure if they're saved, just know that there is power. It's the power of God unto salvation, the gospel of Christ. Let's not forget that. Wherever you are around the world, thank you for listening. Please share this on your socials, and remember to keep your sword sharp, soldier. Until we meet again next time, if the Lord tarries, grace and peace to you. Maranatha.